healing power of breathwork from my perspective. Okay, so this is my perspective. This is based on all the research that I've done since healing myself from a chronic illness, myself recovering, where breathwork was a big part of my overall recovery. So I'm going to talk about the Ayurvedic system shows that actually diseases can occur based on our environment, but also we're more prone to certain conditions based on our energy type, our doshas. So in the Vedic system, we have 3 different doshas: the air, which is vata, pitta, which is fire, kapha, which is earth. And we have different balances of these in the body. So some people are more predominantly vata, pitta, or kapha, and some people are a combination of these. Okay, so I'm actually more vata, pitta. And according to the Ayurvedic system, and one of the gurus of Ayurvedic teaching today, who I highly recommend, is Dr. David Frawley. Read his book Ayurvedic Healing. It's an eye-opener, really well explained on the Vedic system. It's actually quite simple once you get that grips of it. And in there it says clearly that a vata pitta dosha is more prone to disease of the colon and things like ulcerative colitis. And these conditions can be triggered by especially fear and anxiety, long-term fear and anxiety, and anger, these emotions that we hold on to, which is all what I had building up over the years. And then boom, it broke. That moment when I felt my project got taken away from me. I was going to end up back in my old job as a pharmacist, which I worked so hard to escape from. So then the body does something. When you don't listen to your own inner instincts and your gut and your whole brain, the true brain, I believe you get disease, and it can often be there to give you a lesson, a real lesson, and be a gift at the same time, to wake you up to who you are, to who you truly are, and where you really should be going. And it can give you more faith, actually, in going after what you want to avoid that disease from coming back. So these are some of the big revelations I got at that time. And then through Ayurveda and the Ayurvedic system, I also learned what diet, what foods I should be eating. I was actually eating more of a vegan raw food diet just before I got sick, and I realized that this isn't good for vata pitta types, especially when you've got ulcerative colitis. You need more grounding foods, and there is a place for things like bone broth, meats, and things like that for people who have this dosha. And then, other doshas, maybe you shouldn't consume meats and things like that. So what I realized through the Vedic system is there is no one size fits all. And that by determining who you are, your true energy types, and what you really are, who you truly are, versus that kind of blanket prescription that is given to us by the healthcare system, you can actually give yourself a customized prescription. Something that is based on who you are, your specific personality type, your energy type, your body type, all these different factors that are taken into account through the Ayurvedic system. And even through that, you can actually prescribe your own breathing practices from pranayama to balance things like vata, pitta. And you can also learn which ones increase pitta, the fire, and which ones even increase vata, too much vata. So I realized that actually that there's no one size fits all, even in the pranayamic system as well, and the yogic system, and that there are different asanas and different postures for different types as well, and there are even different exercises, physical exercises. So I was really mind blown now, and I got really addicted to learning as much as I possibly could about these ancient practices. And when I started to heal myself and get all these amazing results at such a fast rate, one ingredient that I discovered that was a real eye-opener, that was a big aha moment, was colostrum. And this is something that actually is part of the Ayurvedic system. It's a treatment used for thousands of years by Ayurvedic doctors. And what colostrum is the first milk from, and you have bovine colostrum, you have human colostrum. And what this is the milk that you would consume when you're born that gives you the lining of your gut. It actually fixes the lining of your gut. I'm not going to go into it too much because this is actually about breath, but I just want to explain to you a little bit about colostrum because it's very powerful, especially if you're in a kind of a healing, you're needing healing right now and you're a bit of a crisis point and you need something to help you. Well, a lot of the diseases, according to Ayurveda, begin in the gut. And if you're not given enough colostrum as a child by your mother, and your mother, the first milk that they feed you is colostrum. Say that they don't have enough colostrum, they're not producing enough of it, or you weren't breastfed. All of these factors can lead to you not having a strong digestive system, and it can lead to childhood allergies and then leaky gut issues and other issues that lead to chronic autoimmune conditions. So fixing the gut and the gut microbiome is super important. The gut microbiome is the bacterial flora that's essential for good gut health. This as well is improved by colostrum. So colostrum has amazing miracle health benefits, and I saw incredible benefits very quickly from taking colostrum. So it was a combination of the breath techniques with sauna practices, certain yogic techniques and exercises, as well as colostrum and changing my diet and environment that led to such a fast, dramatic change. And those who have since followed my advice on this, and just copied what I've done basically, have also reported back amazing benefits. And in our 21-day awakening journeys, we actually go into this in more depth and give you a step-by-step system to change your lifestyle based on these principles. So I highly recommend anyone who's having any problems with their health to check this out. Getting back to what we're talking about, what happened was, well, I discovered the power of music, and music as a way to firstly unlock your creativity by going into making music yourself as a musician. It does wonders for your creativity and waking up the whole brain. So I highly urge any of you who have wanted to learn music or be musicians to get creative. Start learning an instrument. It's one of the best things you can do for your mental health and well-being. And I went into making music. It was a big passion of mine, and I learned about combining rhythms of breath and music and the rhythms of music. And I ended up creating a system, a technology called tripneural, which then actually has become used by some of the world's top therapists like Marissa Peer, even Wim Hof, who's now a close friend of mine, and many other healing spas and centers around the world have used our music as part of their techniques. So really making music, going deep on this, and combining it with these ancient practices, learning about these ancient practices, how they work with the body, and then going deep on the science. So that was the next big thing, was discovering all the science that backs this up, the profound science. So, Wim Hof was definitely an eye-opener for me, but also the stuff that my Swami was telling me. She's also a scientist. She gave me a lot of background on the role of carbon dioxide and oxygen and why carbon dioxide's forgotten but so important to our health and well-being. And then also the role of breathing and the autonomic nervous system. These were really big eye-opening things that you never get taught at university or school. So I really wanted to go deep on the science, and I met this doctor called Prakash Mash, a medical doctor, who invited me to India to learn with him, to train with him. And he had written papers on intermittent hypoxia and how you can create this state of low oxygen for brief periods through ancient pranayama techniques. And through that, you can actually invoke a powerful healing response in the body, to the point you can even wake up endogenous stem cells. And this was such confirmation of why these techniques must have helped me so much. And it was a real revelation. And then I went really deep into more of these pranayama techniques. And then that led to us evolving the Soma breath system that you are enjoying today.